Hey, so number 6 out there for the Wind Vehicle Loading Net, check in sometime. Okay, nothing heard. Well, we got enough folks to get it started. Hopefully we can pick up the folks here. Good morning again. Happy Easter, everybody. Good morning. W6MQI, and the 4 spot is Vern, K0DWC, and in the 5 spot is Mike, W7MS. One more quick call out for number 6. If you're going to be number 6, come now.
WA7YBS.
Hey Henry, good morning. I got you in the 6 spot. Alrighty. Is there a number 7 out there that would like to check in? Please come now.
It's W4DBQ.
Okay, there's Carla in the 7 spot. Is there a number 8 out there? Finished Military Radio Net. You can come now. Okay, nothing heard. So now we've got Henry, number 6, WA7YBS, and Carla, W4DBQ. And we'll go ahead and head to the top, and I'll pick up any stragglers at the end of the first round. So with that, we'll send it up to Bill. N6BCT to take it. This is K0DWC. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, Bill, thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Happy Easter. This is Steve up in Santa Rosa, just north of Santa Rosa. Running the usual Collins 32V1 receiver. Yeah, is that right? No. 75A1 receiver. and 32V1 transmitter, about 85 watts out, into a dipole, about 30 feet up. Unamplified D104 microphone. Hold reliable. Anyway, good to hear everybody on. Good signals today. High noise floor though. So Bill was the weakest. You're in and out of the noise. Copied about 50%. But everybody else is solid copy. Hopefully conditions hold out for a while. And let's see, why don't we send it on down to Livermore? W6MQI, W6SSP.
And W6SSP, W6MQI. And good morning to everybody. Boy, I spaced being Easter. Totally forgot about that. But, yep, good morning to everybody. It's Dave in Livermore. And we're on the ART-13 this morning with a D104 mic, listening on the Collins 75A4 receiver. And weather here today is 50 degrees, overcast, no wind. And I wasn't copying Bill real good. It sounded like he was going to turn 93. I didn't quite catch that, or maybe sometime this week. But happy birthday to him if I copied that right. So I think that's about it here. And hey, Mike, is that one of your modified BC 611s? Sounding pretty good there. Over to Vern, K0DWC W6MQI.
K0DWC. Looks like I'm tuned up okay. Let me double check one thing here. Oh yeah, that was right on it. I better take the cover off the SD200 here and let it open up. When I say cover, I tend to put a small handheld on top of the radio so it doesn't collect any dust through those teeny little holes on the top. Happy Easter, everybody. Yeah, I'm actually out. You're looking at the log here. I thought I missed 1 week. I might have missed a couple. We were out of town this time. That's an excuse. The other one is probably sleeping. Anyhow, good morning to all. Again, happy Easter. Easter Sunday. Wow. The 20th of April. Most of my work has been this week. I'll talk about it next time we have more time. But I did discover my old B2s have a very black the glass storage door. If that happened, and I've just never noticed it. It's a lot of work. I'll tell myself about that later. The W7MS. Oh yeah, the signals are real strong. I'm missing the antenna again. I think I finally figured out what this is. Numbers are not. Over to you, Martin. K6VXY. Okay, well thanks Vern, K6VXY and the great group here, W7MS. Maybe we should give a standby. Just received recently a text message from Mr. Beezer. And he has a T195, so let's, I'll give a drop so Net Control can acknowledge Brown. Go ahead, Brown.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Maybe I'm being heard now. Had a little debris on the antenna. This is W1NZR. Good morning.
Hey, Brown. Good to have you. Mike, thank you for the pickup on that, because I didn't hear him either. Good to have you back this morning, Brown, W1NZR. I've got you in the 8 spot, sir. And shy of anybody else checking in, you'll hand it back up to me, K0DWC. So, Mike, it's Mike's turn, then Henry, then Carla, and then you, Brown, W1NZR. Good to have you here this morning. So go ahead, Mike. W7MS, it's all yours. Thanks again.
Well, thank you, Net Control. You're so gracious, Chuck. W7MS here. Well, good morning to all, and good reception to this point, and that means life is good here on an Easter Sunday. But nice day in Reno. It's nice to be moving into mid-spring. You know, the grass is greening up, and the birds are singing, and the animals are doing what they do in the springtime. But thanks for the comments, Dave. On we had a BC 611 operating event at Camp Plymouth Friday. And Dave's comments were yikes, because, you know, you're talking receiver overload, AVC issues, and 30% distortion. But I guess in a military combat situation, total harmonic distortion is not a prime consideration. But we had a fun event. Maybe we'll continue on comments on that on round 2. But this morning, running the National 600, I wanted to demonstrate this to my son, who's still pursuing teenagehood because he's still asleep. He's just amazed how Dad can function and jump out of bed at 6 a.m. and be wide awake and chipper. But then again, he sees the inverse of that, and that's Dad falling asleep at 10 p.m. watching TV last night. So that's the way that goes. But receiving, of course, on the commensurate HR05 AT1 or TA1 or whatever it is, first cup of coffee syndrome. But good morning to everybody on frequency, and over to Henry. Good morning, Henry, WA7YBS, W7MS.
Okay. Well, good morning to all. Good signals from everybody. Well, Bill said he was going to be 93 on May the 4th. So way to go, Bill. And sounded pretty good here. Everyone else is just, you know, very, very good signals. So that's, let's see, I'm on the ART-13A, the SAMA Survivor. And that means that it went through the SAMA deal down there in San Antonio, Texas, at some time in its life, and it managed to survive that. And so anyway, probably, you know, it's about 110 watts or so of carrier power, and antenna's a collinear array. And with this setup here, I run the Black Wrinkle Finish HRO7T. And as I've said before, you know, most of the HRO7s are kind of that funny silver color that they used. But a handful were painted Black Wrinkle Finish for airport use. So that's what this one is. And so with that, let's see, it was 38 degrees this morning, clear skies. So with that, I'll turn it over to Carla at W4 DVQ, WA7YBS.
Okay, WA7YBS, this is Whiskey 4 Delta Victor Quebec. Good morning to all. Everybody sounds great. Mike's happy. I got an Easter joke for you guys this morning, and I'll give you the answer the next go-around. You got to think about it. Why does the Easter Bunny hide the eggs? Why does the Easter Bunny hide the eggs? Think about it, Vern. And I'll let you know on my next go-around. So I'm going to hand it over to Brown. Oh, it's nice to have you back. W1NZR to take it. This is Whiskey 4, Delta Victor Quebec.
All right, very good, Paula. W4 BSQ from W1NZR. Very nice to hear you. Actually, very nice to be here. Got back into town late last night and didn't manage to sleep through the net as I usually do, only because I'm still on East Coast time. But happy to be here running the usual T195. I had some debris on the antenna that I guess was attenuating my signal, but now I am heard. And actually, signals are quite good. Bill is the weakest, but I did copy him. Steve's putting in a good signal. Dave, you're pounding in here. Mike is the channel master here. Chuck copying you quite well, and as well as Vern and Henry. The ART-13A sounds great. A SAMA survivor. Too bad that SAMA is not still in operation. What a center of equipment production. Anyway, I can't answer your question yet, Paula. I'll have to cogitate on that, probably because I have an insufficient amount of caffeine. But let's see, what else? Mike, the 600 sounds wonderful, and it really is beautiful. Mike kindly sent me a photo of it, and it truly is a thing of beauty. I can't imagine how many are in operation still. Can't be more than 2 or 3, I would think. But great to hear that machine on. Chuck, coming back to you. K0DWC and the military radio net. This is W1N ZR.
And U6F.
Well, hey, there's Ron, NU6F. Good morning, Ron. Happy Easter. I've got you in the number 9 spot, sir, so Brown will hand it over to you, and you will be able to hand it back up to me, K0DWC. So go ahead and make a transmission, Ron, and send it back on up to me. So NU6F, all yours.
Okay, good morning, gang. Well, I got my really crummy interferences back here again. I was just about ready to hang it up, and then I tuned off to the side. I could hear most of you guys, so anyhow, well, good morning. A great Easter. It's been a fantastic week so far, and I'm using the T3 and the R390, the inverted L, and yeah, I don't know, same old other than that. And good deal. So I heard all I caught here was Chuck and Mike and Henry and Carla. Still trying to figure out why. Let's see, why did Easter Bunny hide the eggs? You know, at least I remember the question. That's pretty good. If this was like your, you know, your Medicare evaluation every year when they give you the 3 statements or 3 words to remember, I at least got part of it down. All right. Anyhow, with that, back up to Chuck, K0DWC and U6F.
Okay, Ron, you're sounding good this morning. Good to have you here again. I was wondering about you. But I thought, too, with Easter and everything, I didn't know if maybe you were doing something related to your church or what. But glad to have you, as usual, this morning on the T3. So, yeah, everybody here, Bill's just a little bit weak, but I'm able to copy, I don't know, most of what he says, but not all of it. But everybody else sounds really good this morning. Mike, that NC600 does sound fabulous. It really does. And it is a thing of beauty. It really is. So congratulations again on that. And I think you said something about there was another one somewhere, but I'll leave that story up to you on that one there. I thought that's what you said, but I might be wrong. But anyway, I didn't get my equipment rundown this morning. I'm running the typical Net Control station, running Carla's ART-13 with the D104 mic, and listening on combined receivers, the R45 ARR7 with the LS3 speaker, and then I've got, that's all going through inverted V, and then I've got the R388 on with the loop as a backup. So, and, you know, it's showing, I don't know, 10 gazillion watts, and I'm sure it's probably about 175 watts, probably realistically. So, anyway, okay, let's see if there's anybody else that wants to check in and be number 9, you can, or excuse me, be number 10. You can come now for the Vintage Military Radio Net. Okay, nothing heard. Well, this has been a very busy week for us. We were working on Carla's car a little bit. I'll let her tell you all about it. But I've been pretty busy with that. She made her maiden run yesterday. We went around Mark Twain a few times, and then she ended up taking it all the way down to downtown Dayton to her work, and then we drove it back. And she said the ride was good with the new tires on the 51 Ford, but the steering was sloppy, so I got to get up under there and adjust the steering box on the thing. The steering box is a little bit different than the 49 or 50. So the steering box has actually got slots in it, and you have to rotate the housing to clockwise to either tighten it up or counterclockwise to loosen it up. So I've got to get under there and make that adjustment and check it. She's probably got 3 or 4 inches of play in the steering wheel, and from my experience with those cars, if you got anywhere from a half to 1 inch play, you're fine. So that's going to be my job today. So anyway, enough of my blubber blather, as Mike says. We'll go ahead and we will start round 2. And with that, we'll send it back up to Bill, pin 6, Bravo Charlie Tango, to take it. Go ahead, Bill. Okay, Bill, thank you very much, and happy birthday coming up there. 93, wow, that's very impressive. Also, we got about 23 years on me, and that's saying a lot. Anyway, boy, nice race this morning, and good turnout, too, for Easter. And, Paul, I got a question for you. Have you got some fuzzy bikes for your 51 Ford? Yeah. What do you use? Your windshield. Oh boy. Old crap, you gotta have something like that to make it acceptable. Let's see what's going on here. Not much. No need to on this Saturday. Pick up a few things in the summer. Other than that, let's see. Stand by section of it. Not that bad, it's not quite as good as it was before, but still good news. Okay, here, I want to say your license is probably popped up faster. I'll show you a feel for it. License is
W6SSP, W6MQI. Alrighty, Steve. Yeah, I got to concur with you. Mike, I think he's the loudest station here today. It sounds really good. Really good. And, Carla, I'm going to take a stab at your joke. I think the Easter Bunny didn't want his friends know he was having a little whoopee with the chickens. I think the Easter Bunny was a little on the kinky side. So that's my That's what I think. Yeah, no projects here. Friday, I went up to the Plymouth military meet. First time. Saw the usual suspects, Tim and his XYL, Alex, Tom, Mike, Andy, and yours truly were there. Milled around the swap meet and such. Met a couple of people, new people. But all in all, good time. Like Mike said, we had a little BC 611 event, and I got to use Tim's his TRC 77 to work Andy. Well, Andy was doing mobile CW. I'm not quite sure how you do that. I know people do it. I couldn't do it. That's a pretty good feat. And working on Sunday, working Tim about 2 hours before they mopped up. Used my PRC 174 for CW contact with him on his TRC 77. So that was cool. I think that's about it. All stations are sounding good. And good morning to Brown. It's morning 195 sounds good. And to Ron, the T3 sounds good. And Brown, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods here in the middle of May, going to North Carolina. So I'll be in your neck of the woods. So let's see who's next here. Fun. K6VXY, W6MQI.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. I might as well start this off. This K6VXY running the ICOM 7200, looking at the Marauder and SB200, and messed around with the antenna a little bit, and I still have a question about these OB2s. I violated recommendations from several of you guys, and I bought from eBay. I couldn't turn it down. It was $75. The world famous Dow key relay. I checked it out partly. I haven't powered it up yet, but it looks brand new. One of the things I did is I got a wire brush. I have both I guess it's a brass or whatever kind of gold colored brush, and then I have the silver one. And I hit the connectors, the PL259 connectors. The guy had done one thing to it. He marked a T and an R on the transmit and receive side for the antenna. So it really looks good. Anyhow, I feel a lot better having that in use because I'm used to that. Not because it's right, but for $75 and cheap shipping, I couldn't turn it down, and it looks great. And it's the one thing I wanted. I know I could use a transformer, but I wanted a 110-volt version that would key off by the Marauder, which it provides. A lot of the older heat kits did. And the other thing is the setup is it's just I'm going to make a little box, a little plastic box, put this thing in it, and feed the lead to it 110. Just like I said, just something I'm used to. Again, the Easter Bunny. Why did the Easter Bunny hide on Easter? No, why did he hide the eggs? What if it's something the parents came up with to make it more fun and interesting? Distracted from the Christian, make it very different from the Christian view of Easter Sunday, which we share the Easter Bunny with. Of course, not that nice. Weird. We like to think of ourselves as somewhat human. Anyhow, with all that, I'm going to continue much more serious work. I've been replacing the tubes on the Marauder, and going step by step through the process. But like I said, I had noticed that the original two OB2s, which I brought over to Dave's house, they tested okay, but boy, are they shiny. They're really, really black, whereas the, maybe it's a partial Raider, because the regular OB2, the new ones I got a couple of them, are silver. It's a shield around the tube, so I'm hoping maybe that was the problem. Anyhow, with that, I hope that may commented. Your signals are all good today, everybody. I hear 100%. Very good. 10 to 20 over. And yeah, for me it's MQI and also Mike, W7MS, good morning. And I have the really slightly stronger signals with Henry real close. And you too, Chuck and Carla. And then everybody else, you're so close to the strong ones, but the strong ones you hear a little better, but the S meter is only moving a slight difference here on the ICOM unit. Oh, that fan, hey, there goes it. That's the SB200. I wonder if it's going to be going sometime soon. But it's been doing that for a year, so that's encouraging. And good morning to Brown, I guess it is W1MZR. A good signal in here too. And I turned it over to W7MS, Mike, Mr. Signal. How's that? K6VXY.
Well, thank you, Vern. K6VXY and the very esteemed peer group here, W7MS. Well, I don't want to forget. Why did the Easter Bunny hide the eggs? And I'm gonna go in today's world, and that's because they're worth your weight in gold. In the substituted potatoes. That's my answer. I know that's the answer, not the correct response, Carla, but it's today's response. So we'll leave it at that. Thanks for comments on the National 600. Yeah, the other owner, the only one I know of who is radioactive, and that's the famous Cosmophone collector, Brian Harris, WA5UEK. And I got him stimulated, so to speak, to start some restoration on his accumulation of parts. But his is a little bit of a hamster kit version of the 600, whereas I've got more of the catalog version. Both can be claimed as National 600s, but his is more of the an amateur operator who was a little more frugal with his do-re-mi rather than just buying all the stuff out of the catalog. So he's working on that. So it's the two in existence, Chuck, and maybe I'm the only one that's catalog correct to some degree. So that's the theory, and who knows? There may be others hidden out there in barns out in North Carolina. It's hard to say, but. Yeah, Vern, congratulations on the new Keen relay. That's okay. Full disclosure on your part. Steve, great on having the antenna back up, because it's always a drag to discover that. And usually sometimes it's discovered not visually, but when you're attempting to load the dummy load, so to speak, and wonder what the heck's going on with the antenna that's supposed to be radiating. And again, and Brown in a similar situation, had to do a little ad hoc antenna maintenance. So good job on that. The T195 sounding excellent. And the 19, as it always does. Well, it was sounding excellent in the exactly. I'm trying to speak here. First cup of coffee syndrome. And Ron, great to hear you. A little late, but you're not late for dinner, that's for sure. Great to hear you. And I was cracking up on your steering wheel free play story, Chuck, and Carla's voyage to Dayton in the 51 Ford. But of course, if you watch any of these old movies where they're using a set piece steering wheel and rear projection, they're always driving down the highway with about 6 to 12 inches of deflection on the steering wheel continuously as they're carrying on their dialogue conversation. So maybe there is some correctness there with steering wheel free play, but not necessarily on the safety issue. Yeah, and I capped Plymouth. It was great to see the usual suspects and finally get to meet Alex and Tim and Tim's XYL for real, because I've heard a lot of good stories, seen the emails, but have never had an eyeball visit, and they did a great job hosting the event there at Camp Plymouth from a military radio operating standpoint, since the irony is, as was discussed mostly with Mr. Hosfeld, was there are a lot of radios there, but usually it's just an accessory to kind of fill in the blank spot for a military vehicle collector, and they don't necessarily have a lot of knowledge or a license, or they're also non-operational, but they look correct from at least from the outside. So that was it was great to participate, and again thanks to Alex and Tim and providing burgers. She took orders and went shopping over at the commissary and came back with lunch for us. So that was a lot of fun. Good social time. And Henry, yeah, you're right. You don't have to monitor the Carson River. I think the snow melt is being very deliberate, but I did see the usual response stopping at the Donna rest stop on the way over the hill there, and most of the snow's gone. So it's we're moving into some serious nice weather and painting season. So over to Henry, WA7YBS, W7MS.
Okay, Mike, W7MS, WA7YBS. Okay. Yeah, very good on the T600. You know, somewhere, I'll have to dig it out, but somewhere I have an original national little flyer deal. I guess it was a flyer. It couldn't have been a manual because it's only like a few pages on the T600. And I'll see if I can find it and get it to you. It's just a matter of which box did I put it in. It's in one of them, but anyway, it sounds great. And so let's see. Morning to Brown, T95 sounds good as always. Good morning to Ron, T368 sounds good, as they all do. Well, most of them do. And so anyway, very good on all. Let's see. Well, I'm sitting here, and to my right is the KWS-1 power supply with the back cover off. And I had a failure yesterday. I was doing some testing, getting it ready to operate today, and heard this pop. And no antenna relay actuation. And of course there's an interlock on the external interlock that works the transmitter. If that relay doesn't work, the transmitter, of course, doesn't do anything, which is, you know, safety factor type thing. And so anyway, measured the voltage at the relay coil, and of course it was 0. Turned out there's a 100 ohm load resistor, series load resistor in there, and it had burst apart. And so anyway, the odd thing about the KWS-1 is that it provides 110 volts DC to run the relay coil, the antenna relay coil, rather than you know, most transmitters of the 50s just use the line, you know, probably 110 or 115 then you know, AC back then in the 50s. And so most of the Dow keys are 110 volt AC coils. And the DC builds up a lot of heat, and you know, so you really got to take that into account running a Dow key with a KWS-1. And I think it finally took its toll. And so anyway, the back covers off the KWS-1. There's a couple other things that I need to look at while it's down, and still going through the maintenance trials. And you know, it is operational, but there's little fine things that need to be done to it. And but we won't get into that. They're just minor stuff. And let's see. Other than that, that's about all that's going on at the moment. So with that, I'll turn it over to Carla. W4DVQ, WA7YBS.
Okay, WA7YBS. This is Whiskey 4 Delta Victor Quebec. Very good. First, I want to say happy birthday, Bill. That's a milestone. Hope you have a good one. And Steve, the fuzzy dice. No, I don't have any fuzzy dice. I gotta look into that. You gotta have fuzzy dice living in this area. So, and I'm gonna check into that. Loved my car yesterday. It felt like I was flying a plane. The faster I went, and on them narrow little tires, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to flip my car. Because there was so much play in the steering. It was scary. But, yeah, we'll get her fixed. Just little quirks here and there. And, Dave. Oh, Dave. Dave hit it right on the nose about the joke. Why does the Easter Bunny hide the eggs? Because he doesn't want anybody to know he's been humping the chickens. I know. But anyhow, good luck on your radio, Henry. I know you've had that radio for so long, and it's a beautiful set. So good luck with that. Guys, I think I'm going to bail out and go outside, so I wish that you all have a good Easter and enjoy the day. It's going to be nice today. Enjoy this cooler weather until it gets too hot. So with that, I'm going to say my 73s, and I'm going to hand it over to Brown. And W1NZR to take it. This is W4DVQ signing, saying 73 guys, and happy Easter and happy birthday, Bill. 73.
Okay, very good, Carla. W4DVQ and the net W1NZR returning, and thank you very much for that little bit of entertainment. I had guessed along that line, but was uncertain. But I enjoyed the the other prognostications, especially yours, Mike. Anyway, a good day to you and a pleasant Easter, Carla, as well. And let's see. Yeah, signals are holding up, although it is quite noisy over here in greater southeast suburban Dixon. But that's just because of the later time, I think, and sun, etc. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend, obviously, the Plymouth event. I've missed it the past couple of years. Always something that gets in the way that I can't maneuver around. So hopefully that'll stop, and perhaps I think the event is still biannual, so it will happen again at some point in the fall. And I have some things that need to be purveyed to a military vehicle crowd as well, so I'm really going to make a point to make that in the fall, at the fall meet. I'm very sorry I missed this one. Sounds like Tim and his ex-wife put on a nice show, and it's always interesting. I remember for years when it happened down at what is it? Venue for it down near Rio Vista, Island Park. I forget. Anyway, that was a nice venue. Rather sorry it doesn't happen there anymore. I have not visited the Plymouth venue, but at least the event goes on. So this is a very, very good thing. Okay, enough babbling from me. I'm going to hand it over to Ron, and I'm not sure which Ron it is, so I didn't get the call. But Ron, I'm fairly certain you know who you are. So here it comes. Over to you, Ron, from W1NZR. Go ahead.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, see if I got it. Yeah. All right, gang. Well, signals are fading, at least here at my end, and the interference is not. But this seems to work pretty good. I don't know why I didn't try this before. I can tune off 3KC and I can hear you guys without that. I mean, that interference, it is local grunge, and it is right dead on 3974. Oh well, that's the polluted world we live in. I'm not as concerned over global warming as I am as global RFI from all the Chinese wall warts and everything else we got hanging around. Well, good deal, guys. Brown, you know, I have to hand it to you to switch your head from East Coast, West Coast, and all points in between. I'll be switching my brain over to Azores time here in a couple of months. Well, less than that now, and so I'm looking forward to that. The big project will be getting as far as we know, the first 630 meter station going on Flores Island. Not sure about the others, but the gang, nobody remembers ever hearing. So we'll see. Real challenge. It'll be fall by the time I could probably get any signals out of there. But yeah, busy working on equipment. Had my first blowout of a big MOSFET on my amp, and while I was had the antenna keyed, ran out to go ahead and measure antenna currents on the and out on the grounds, and heard a little frying noise. Holy crap! Too late. Yeah, my 12-volt leads to my keying relay outside at the antenna. The 12-volt lead, the wind blew it into the antenna, and it welded on there and burned the lead off on the antenna relay. Of course, I went running back into the house, and yeah, transmitter run. I still had 90 watts, but not the 200 it's supposed to have. And yeah, first surgery on the homebrew amp, and luckily I had a spare MOSFET. I ordered a couple of more. So anyhow, that's the deal here. Carla already signed, but I picture you cruising down the road to Dayton with that steering wheel from right to left, like Mike said, just like in the old movies with the fake prop car. Henry, okay, on the the DC, don't think about that, the DC keying relay, and yeah, it's got to go ahead and dissipate a little more power. But yeah, and what a deal! And talking about keying relays, and to have Vern get his shiny new relay up and running. Boy, I was hoping I was going to hear that Marauder here one of these days, but well, we'll see. Mike and the NC600 sounding great, and glad you made it over to Plymouth. Vehicle-wise, finally back on Larry's M37 the other day, and electric fuel pump conked out. We did manage to get it running, pour some gas down the carburetor, and yeah, it's still running okay. So I think he was supposed to get the new fuel pump was supposed to show up last night, eBay from Amazon. So we'll see. Steve, not sure what parts of your fan dipole legs disappeared, but I guess at least you got the 75 meter portions going. And I guess that's about it. So with that, let me run it back up to the top. And I guess you guys did see Tom OPE over at the Plymouth show. So I was going to ask about Tom, if you guys heard from him lately. I talked to him on the phone a couple weeks ago, but he just told me about all the movie projector projects. With that, Chuck, who has no movie projector projects, just a sloppy steering on the 51 Ford K0DWC NU6F.
Okay. All right, Ron. Well, boy, that's really something about that thing welding itself on there like that. I mean, geez, I'm just glad that nothing really bad happened there, man. That's something. Wow. Antenna problems. And Steve with his antenna problems as well. That's well, I guess that's part of the hobby, I guess. I've got the same problem here with Carlos TA32 Jr. I've got to take the whole tower down. I can't do it right now because the car's back there on the concrete pad, but that's something I got to do too, and I got to rebuild the antenna, and I've got to do a little bit of work on the actual tower itself too. So it's like a lot of folks got antenna problems after all the wind we've had these last few months. But anyway, Ron, you're sounding really good on that T3 this morning. And Henry's pounding in. Brown sounds fantastic. Mike sounds fantastic. Vern and Dave sound great there. No problem whatsoever. Steve's no problem. And Bill, a little bit of QSB on Bill, but I'm able to get some of it though. But happy 93rd birthday, Bill. I know it's in May, but I think you said May the 4th, which is, I think, if I heard you right, May 4th. I think that's on a Sunday, so we'll have time to wish you happy birthday again. And let's see. Yeah, Steve, on that fuzzy dice deal with Carla, she was born in the mid-'60s, you know, and a lot of this stuff she's not too familiar with, you know. I mentioned fender skirts to her, and she looks at me like I'm some kind of nut, you know. She doesn't know what lowering blocks are, you know. Some of the other nicknames for a lot of old speed equipment, but she's getting edumacated, I'll say. But and Mike, yeah, you know what? You're exactly right. I've seen that countless times, you know, back and forth on the steering wheel. And I'm going to tell you what, I followed her yesterday, and honest to God, she had a ball hat on, and I swear she was looking through the steering wheel driving. That steering wheel is 18 inches in diameter, and she's got about 4 inches of play, I think, in that steering wheel. And you know how she's built. She's got 2 sticks for an arm, for arms. So she's got this little skinny thing driving this big shoebox, looking through the steering wheel. You know, it's like no wonder she's all over the road. But anyway, she's having fun with it. That's what it's all about. And Vern, congratulations on the keying relay. I guess that was a pretty good price. These things have been really pricey in recent years. When I got mine, I can't remember how much I paid for them. I think I paid $75 for one time. It was new old stock in the box. It doesn't look like it had ever been used. I've still got it, but where is it? I don't know. I don't know if it's in the radio room. I don't know if it's in storage. I have no idea. You know. But anyway, glad you got that. And like Ron said, I'm looking forward to hearing the Marauder here soon, hopefully. That'll be a real treat. So anyway, just one last call for the tail end of the second round. Is there anybody else that would like to check in on the tail end of the second round? It'll be number 10. You can come now. Okay, nothing heard. Well, I guess we'll start the 7-3 round, guys, and we'll we'll go up to the top to N6BCT. Bill, it's the 7-3 round, my friend. Go ahead and take it. N6 Bravo Charlie Tango. Go ahead.
Okay, Bill, 73, and 6 BCT, W6SSP. Yeah, conditions are really fading now, so that's how it is. Wintertime conditions are going away, and oh well. Hey Chuck, yeah, very good on the fuzzy dice and the vague steering. That's, you know, part of driving classic cars is getting through the nuances and getting accustomed to them. I drove MGs Austin for many years, and on long trips, just making it to your destination was part of the fun. I hope Carlo really enjoys her Ford and the new toy here. I've got the deal with the fuzzy dice is kind of a funny story. When I got my 64 Lincoln, I drove it up to work. And just after I got it, a friend, so-called friend, on the rearview mirror there, and this is a convertible, powder blue with white interior, beautiful car. And as a thanks for the fuzzy dice, I put some bingo balls on this on top of this windshield. Still have the fuzzy dice, of course, the bingo balls didn't last so long. Anyway, fun and games. Neat to hear about the Plymouth meet and EC611s and PRC 77 and stuff like that. I'd like to make it to one of these days. Chris, military vehicle event in Petaluma. This is 1 year ago now. The only one of those I've ever been to, and I had a blast. All the blast. Big shop, full of blast, starting plates and even some radios for sale. Anyway, got the hots to get an M48. I looked at quite a few. There's quite a few of them around here locally that were on ranches and stuff. But luckily, over time, common sense prevailed, never got one. So I'll have to admire them from afar. Burned very good on the really good at flat that. I wish I'd bought no doubt few relays back on maybe a quarter price of these days. I'm still looking for a couple of them for the KWS 9 series, but I guess I'll just have to keep looking. Anyway, say 73 guys, good net, wonderful group of people, nice mix of equipment. So we'll send it down to Philly, W6FQI, W6SSP, 73 guys.
W6SSP, W6MQI. Sorry, Steve. I was surprised at the Plymouth it wasn't, I didn't see any Jeeps for sale. My wife was worried I was going to come home with one. But I didn't see anything didn't see anything. So, probably good. But, anyway guys, 73. And, hey Chuck, you might want to get Carla a set of Kurt dealers too. I haven't seen those things in years. I'm sure you could still get them. But haven't seen those in years. But anyway, 73 everybody. And have a good Easter. So over to Vern, K6VXY, W6MQI.
Thanks, Dave. VXY returning. Yeah, I just realized why I looked for that last week. Yeah, last week we had a reunion last Saturday in Milpitas, California. And it was a 65-year reunion. It was the church that started. We used to go to in Milpitas, the Lutheran church. It was a small town hall. But it was very interesting meeting and being with all the people. There was more than maybe 50 to 75 people there. But most of the people kind of reminded me of one of my high school reunions, and also the next and the guys like on this group here that I see at Open Street is Sean in Nevada. The age group around me and a little younger seems to be the dominant there. And a lot of people talk about their memories pastor started this off, and it was kind of new, and this was 1971. And then we were playing, and then he came in around 1990, and we started the first Sunday, did the group for 3 years, and we weren't quite sure how to start and how people would take it. And so the pastor just looked at me, nodded, and then announced to the congregation at the time, let's rock and roll. I'll never forget that. That was great. Anyhow, with that, I'll continue to work on the Marauder, and I'm going to turn it over to Mike, W7MS. Good morning, all. We'll see you next week. Maybe I'll have something going to get that Marauder. If it's OB2s and some other things, maybe I'll be on with it next week. This manual shows it driving an SB200 series, so we'll see. It's K6BXY. Good morning, all. And over to W7MS, K6BXY.
Well, thank you, Vern, and congratulations on the reunion last Sunday. K6VXY W7MS, and it's okay to talk. They should have handed you the microphone, but maybe they would have a timeout or somebody with a cowbell to say, okay, finished. But that's great story, and good on the fellowship there. And a few comments. Thanks, Henry, for the mention on the 600 brochure, and it certainly is. I have some photocopies here, rather ragged photocopies. So if you run across that before the 10th, that'd be nice swap meet get together and handoff. But thanks for the mention on that. Also, I had to be a contrarian with my KWS1. I use a vacuum relay with a current limiting resistor, but it is DC. But not 110 in that area. But of course, Collins was smart, because there's also that switching time and sequencing, which is, and as we all know, the unpredictability of those AC Dow keys, or the resonant 60 cycle buzz, and then you can go and kick the transmitter while you're talking to quiet things down. But again, that's all part of the nuance of vintage operating. And Ron, I'm glad you reinvigorated on the M37. I had dropped the Plymouth meet suggestion, or at least dropped that on you a few weeks ago, and I think the reception I received was that you were still kind of on hold on the whole situation there. But I'm glad to see it's been reactivated. And you have the continuing issues of electric fuel pumps. But you're not running down to the hardware store to crossbreed various fittings in the fuel system. So glad that's working. And yeah, the ongoing issues of QRM from various devices. Yeah, we can go there too. I think there's a latest set of solar panels somewhere in the hood here that's made its presence known in the last few weeks. But got a good laugh from Chuck's comments on fender skirts, and I won't get too specific, but you got to watch how you use that, because you may have to register with the local police department. But maybe a misunderstanding on that. And then Dave's mention on curb feelers. I had an uncle that every new Chevy he bought, and they were so kind of uncool. Even, he'd have a new Impala, but within a day or two there would be curb feelers clamped to the side. And yeah, that would be a good one, curb feelers. I'd get to go with the dice and everything else, and Steve's comments on vintage collecting and being careful and not on what you might bring home. And Dave, there were a few project junkers, I think, on trailers out in the parking lot with a phone number, but that might even have gotten you in more trouble if you showed up with a project Jeep versus one that was turnkey. So good job on that, on totally resisting and correctly applying good politics with spousal issues. And that's just going to be about it. And Carla's We're just can't wait for continuing updates. And these are just fantastic, Brown, to hear you this morning. And what a surprise. But I guess you didn't roll into town in the Black Sea 47. So with that, 7-3s, and we'll listen out here. And everybody have a great Sunday. It's looking great outside. WA7YBS, W7MS.
W7MS, WA7YBS, okay. Yeah, it is. It's I have a project to paint, and I'm just waiting on a couple of parts. Nothing big, but it's VHT, our famous wrinkle finish supplier, gray. Had a hard time finding that. I had to buy it off of eBay. But yeah, VHT does make gray wrinkle finish, and it's a really, really nice gray, very, very dark gray. So, well, I mean, it's not charcoal or anything, but it is dark. It is a darker shade of gray. So, anyway, it is available from VHT, but you really got to do a lot of looking. And let's see, yeah, DC on the relay, on the Dow keys. You know, I looked and searched, and if Dow Key actually made a coil that would dissipate 110 DC, solenoid coil, I don't know, I've never seen one. They're always 110 AC, and once in a while you'll run across 115 AC. Anyway, you know, the KWS-1, for years and years, I ran just a regular old Dow key with it, and there was no problem. But about every 10 years, it would cause a failure on the coil, being that it was DC. This time, what I'm going to do, because the damage was actually inside the power supply, the KWS-1, I'm going to use an external series load resistor and drop that down so that the DC is probably more like about 70 volts or so to the Dow key. I know there are 110 volt DC coils, 120 volt DC coils. Collins made them, of course, naturally to go with the KWS-1, but they don't, everyone I've seen, there's never the auxiliary contact that you need for the interlock to work. So anyway, I'm sure they exist. It's just, you know, if you think Dow keys are expensive, try buying the Collins versions. Anyway, with that, we'll say 73. Everybody have a good week. And I think Carl will be in Net Control next week. Chuck will confirm. With that, we'll turn it over to Brown, W1NZR, WA7YBS.
Okay, Henry. Thank you very, very much. WA7YBS and the net, W1NZR returning. Well, it's a good time to say 73. Very, very noisy at this end of the circuit, but then I am using an N-Fed wire, so it's not the best noise-canceling antenna. But a real pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for letting me in. Great to chat with all of you folks. Always a pleasure, and hopefully I'll be back before the W7 RCA swap. Certainly looking forward to that and planning to attend that for the annual festivities. So with that, 73, I'll listen out here, and I'm going to hand it over to Ron, NU6F, and the Milrad Net from W1NZR, saying a very, very good morning to all. And Chuck, thank you very much for orchestrating the insanity. I do appreciate it. Over to you, Ron, NU6F, and the group, W1NZR. Go ahead.
Okay, Brown, good deal, and glad to hear you on, like I said this morning, and glad that you could hear me off the end of your wire. I'm not sure if I'm off the left end or the right end, but whatever. Okay, well, good deal all. Yeah, Henry, your gray wrinkle finish, dark gray wrinkle finish. You know, and the Dow key relays, you know, I'm looking, I got I don't know what, one of the swap meets here a while back. I think I got 6 or 7 of these 24-volt Dalkey relays. So whenever I need antenna relays, yeah, whatever I'm building, it gets 24-volt ones. Yeah, these the ones that I got they were obviously mil-spec, very well sealed in a machined, nice machined case that had some extra BNC taps on them. But yeah, there you go for Dalkey. Yeah, another thing from the past, like the curb feelers, and yeah, like you mentioned, the curb feelers. I pictured Dad's modification to the garage for Mom when she was driving the 65 olds into the garage. Why he had the golf ball hanging from a string up above, and yeah. When the golf ball just touched the windshield, Rebecca, stop the car. Don't drive forward and put another dent in the sheetrock. Anyhow. Yeah, the days before cameras, but yeah, those curb feeders, did okay for that. And let's see, what else down the list here? I had the steering thing, we'll hear about that. And yeah, good deal, Dave, you didn't go ahead and pick up a project vehicle. Gosh, I'm already thinking about, I don't envy you having to pack up everything and move back to North Carolina, South Carolina, or wherever it is, or was it Virginia you were going to be going to? Maybe, yeah, inland. But one last thing to bring along. Bill, once again, happy 93rd birthday, and I don't think I heard the description before about the property around your house and where the antenna was hanging, so I'm glad to envision what that looked like. Steve, okay, on your 64 Lincoln, with your fuzzy dice, I'm trying to think, did I ever have it? No, I never did have any. And Vern, that's kind of cool on your reunion over at the Milpitas Lutheran Church. That was my old stomping grounds. I lived there in San Jose for 13 years, but I was up in Berryessa, right at the, just before you get to the last exit, and the next exit after me was Milpitas. So, all right, gang, good hearing you all in there, and then again, thanks again, Chuck, and we'll hear Carla in #1 spot tomorrow. 73's K0DWC and U6F.
Okay, Ron, NU6F in the group, K0DWC. All right, Mel. Just a few quick comments here. Steve, that deal with the dingle balls, that's funny. Instead of the fuzzy dice. I guess they didn't last long on the mirror. That's pretty funny. But yeah, she doesn't know a lot of the parts that were on those cars. I had a '55 Crown Vicky back in the '80s. It was red and white. It had fender skirts on it and good hubcaps and fuzzy dice, and it even had a mirror warmer on it. But I was going to put a set of half moons on her car. She didn't even know what I was talking about. So anyway, I guess that's the difference between baby boomers and Gen X. So anyway, Carl will be net control next week, as far as I know. She should be good to go for that next Sunday. And Henry, I'm going to try my best to give you a quick buzz this afternoon. I don't know how long I'm going to be under that car today, but I haven't talked to you all week, for crying out loud. I've just been coming and going and working on that thing, coming in, working on it, and all that. But I'll try hard to give you a buzz this afternoon sometime. I guess that would do it. Let's have a good time with your kids. Enjoy their company, and Brown, it was good to hear you. You're welcome anytime. You know that. I always appreciate everybody that shows up. Especially when you traverse across the country like you do. So thank you for being there, and thank all you guys for being here. We do appreciate it. Good net today. So, Bill, again, happy 93rd birthday from Paul and I. And we will talk to you guys next weekend. So, with that, we'll see you tonight over on. Thank everybody again. So, take care, guys. And 7-2, this is K0DWC signing off from Dayton Rally. Have a good day, guys.